Again, straight up compression-oriented programming here. Just trying to condense down some of these things that you've seen happening.
I might need to move myself.
What I'd like to do is introduce the concept that people can have a stream of random numbers that they can access, and make some of these ways in which we're using them. Like down here we were trying to get a number between 0 and 1, for example, and then we were turning it into a number between -2 and 1, and all that sort of stuff. I'd like to sort of make that stuff more systemic, so that when people want to use, and by people I mean me, but when we want to go use the random number generator to generate randomness for us, we will be able to easily get the types of randomness we want out of it without having to think through the math every time, right? So what I'd like to point out, first of all, is that we don't typically know up front very much about how the people want to use these random numbers, right? Sometimes when you want to use random numbers, you would like them to be sort of effectively random, right? So when you're asking for a random number in the code, sometimes you want it to be really completely random, or at least as close to that as possible, or indistinguishable from random, et cetera, et cetera. But other times what you want is a series that has the properties of randomness, but that actually is completely predictable, right? And the reason that I say this is because if you think about how we might want to do things, let's suppose that we generate a whole world, right, out of randomness. So we're going to create a random world for the player to play through. But we would like the player to be able to send some small piece of information to his friend that friend could enter into the game on their computer to play through that same random world, right? And now the random world we generated might have been hundreds of megabytes worth of stuff, but we know that it all came from this one, stream of random numbers. So we would want to be able to send just one little piece of information that's like, how do you reconstruct that stream of random numbers so that you don't have to send that whole thing across, right? And that is typically what's called the seed, right? It's called the seed because you start the random number generation with it. And basically what it is, when we get up to real random number generation, that's the number that you start out with to start running through the permutations that the random number generator does to produce a series of random numbers. And of course, it's always pseudo-random, really, because they're not random if they're reproducible like that. And so you could think about that in terms of our random number table pretty easily, actually. Because really, in our case, what the seed is just what number in the table you started on. So for example, if we wanted to pick a random series here, we would just say, oh, start on number 35 or whatever, and just keep reading, sequentially, right through there. That would be our seed. Because that's the only real control we have over where we get in the sequence. Now we could have a little more information. We could say, for example, what index we're going to start on, and
man, I need a tissue or
many
something.
numbers to skip each time, or something like that, right? So go by 2s or go by 4s, right? Something like that. So you can imagine different ways that we could construct our own notion of a seed for our random number table.
Move mouse
but
up.
for the time being, we don't really have to care too much about that because we're not doing those sorts of things. But I wanted to bring it up so you'd understand the concept of it, because it is something that will come into play later when we want to do fancier things with the random number generator. And what that motivates for our design is that I want to have a way, because this is just my experience as a programmer speaking. We haven't seen this become necessary in the code right now. It's just my experience saying, hey, look, we want to do this, trust us, it'll save us time later. My experience says that generally what you want to do with random numbers is you never want people to just grab random numbers. You want them to basically have some handle that they use to get random numbers, so that handle can track a particular stream, so that you can have multiple streams of coherent random numbers in your program, some of which might be actually things that are supposed to appear random on that playthrough, like particle effects and whatever. And others might need to be controlled randomness that's producing a repeatable series on multiple people's machines at the same time, so that you can do things like send those seeds across and that sort of thing. And that's something that you probably would have seen in like, I think even the new Binding of Isaac Rebirth, I don't actually know for sure, but I think in the new Binding of Isaac Rebirth, they do things where you can basically like enter a seed or something to start playing, right? I think that, so I think this kind of thing has been sort of exposed to users in the past. It's not, you know, it's not an unusual thing, right, to think about. So what that means is I want to transform this code to start thinking in terms of some kind of a handle, right? That's like a random series, you know, it's some series of randomness. And for our purposes, all it's really going to be, you can see it here, we've got this random number index. All it's going to be is that index, right? It's just going to be that index that we need to pull stuff out. But later it might, you know, not mean that so much, right? So when we draw a test ground, what we'll do is we'll just initialize our random series. So we'll do series equals, and we'll just say like, oh, we'll seed it with 0 because that's what we seeded it with before. Or we could seed it with whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, it doesn't really matter. And we'll just assume that this seed call produces a random series, starting with whatever the seed that was input. Somehow it generates a random series out of that. And any time that anyone, anywhere in the world, for any reason, running Handmade Hero, creates a random series with that seed, we expect the series to be the same. And in this case, if it's just going to become that random number index, that's what it will do, and so that's fine. So then once we have that,
Okay.
We don't have to do this anymore because we'll assume that that'll get taken care of inside the thing. And then I just want to pull out the things that we were doing. So here's one of them, right? We've got random number table, and then we did a mod by 2, right? So we're getting one, and we're doing some kind of a mod. And what I'd like to call that basically is random choice.
I'm kind of hoping that he
So I want to pass that
stops using this table, because I don't want to just have a massive table of random numbers to select from.
Where you pick one out of 2 options. So I'm just going to pass the 2 options, you know, 0, 1, whatever, right? And then when I come down here, I see this other way that we were using it, right? We had this one in here where we were basically doing a random. I'm going to call this.
I'm going to skip forward a little bit.
It's going to be random, so that way when I implement this between 0 and 1. And that's a useful thing to have it do as well. For one, unilateral.
See, he's commenting out the table.
Bilateral, right? And I don't really know having or relating to 2 sides that way because that's the way I typically name them. So let's just do that. But you could imagine other names, and that thing where we did this whole 12 to predict like minimum and maximum, right?
Sure. Okay, so he's designing his API, but like, what is he going to actually do? Is he still just going to pull from the table? He's not getting rid of the table.
That way it's always inside the table.
Yeah, see, I think he's still going to use the table.
I mean, implementing the rest of this is just pretty rote. It's basically what we've already done. Then we'll end up, you know.
Yeah, see, I don't want to do random that way. I want there to be like an actual random. I mean, I know that that's actually random, but okay. Handmade Hero day 434. Looks like it's called replacing the pseudo random number generator. So let's check that out.
So the first thing I want to do.
We're jumping way ahead in time.
Is I want to take care of the random number stuff here, because right now, again, we just never really put in a real random number generator.
See, that's what I was saying.
And so all we did was just use a random number table, which is fine, right? Like that's what we just stuck in there, because we know this is really random, but the problem is the period's very short, right? So that shouldn't actually be part of our problem at the moment because we're not, you know, we're not actually wrapping this. So in theory, it wouldn't make a difference. But while we're looking at this, while we're actually looking at this itself, I think now would be a good time to put in a random number generator that we can use because we want to verify that it doesn't produce any more clumping than this, right? Because this is our starting entropy.
Wow, I haven't even seen this far.
Supposedly random.
That's kind of interesting. It's all 3D. It's got 3D lighting.
The problem with random number generators
Man,
is
this
that
series is crazy.
You kind of have to be an expert on randomization and number theory to really know what to do with them. I am not. So I cannot really explain these particularly well to you, other than to say that...
Why is the click not doing anything? Mouse event.
They try to take the bits
It should be logging it.
Of a, you know, seed value.
Right?
And they try to mix those bits up in a way such that
Only the keys are coming through.
It is 100% predictable. I mean, this is the function that tells you what every next number in the sequence is. They try to figure out how to make those values pass various statistical tests, right? So they try to say, all right, if we were to look at what numbers this produces, and we look
key up, key down,
like
mouse move.
Numbers, do they look like the same?
There's an event. I should be logging the event.
That we would get
Oh, canvas add listener.
So if we had a
It's
source of
not
something we believe is actual entropy,
window.
which they do try to find, you know.
Canvas must not be a thing. No, it is a thing. Missing that.
So I'm not sure where to look for.
Did I delete something?
Really
What did I mess up? What the heck?
Random.org claims that they get randomness by taking atmospheric noise. So, don't know if that's really random, but they think it is, right? So, if we assume that something like atmospheric noise is truly random, and we look at the distribution of numbers that we get there,
is it not add event listener?
what we're trying to do with these, which are effectively pseudo-random number generators, such as this one here.
Why can't I put a function in there?
Sequences of numbers that look roughly similar to real random numbers, even though they are themselves obviously not random, because we literally have a function that can tell you what the next one is. One of the very bare minimums of properties that a random number should have is that you don't know what the next one is, otherwise it
mouse
can't
move.
be very random now, can it? And so that's kind of the way to think about this. Just to go, all right.
Sorry, just throwing Casey around here.
Sort of look, you know, we're trying to be a wolf in sheep's clothing here. You know, the sheep is the real randomness, the wolf is the pseudo-random number, and we're trying to kind of pass ourselves off as a sheep, right? And so
What's it called?
shift
Get
is usually the one that I go to. The reason because it's a pretty simple.
get element by ID. Oh, document. Get element by ID.
But it's the one that I usually go to only because Melissa O'Neill, not this Melissa O'Neill. Let's try that again. We don't want the Canadian singer. Okay, 2 L's. There we go. This Melissa O'Neill, who did a very good random number generator.
Add event listener. Mouse. What's the one that's failing?
The PCG random number generators, which is a thing.
It's all of them. Okay, mouse move.
She actually recommends using XOR shift in the paper on that as the basis for the PCGs, which she does.
Console.log e.
We open the paper up. And I've pointed this out on Handmade Array, I believe. Let's see here.
Okay, so let's try this again, but with a function. So function mouse event.
It's very easy to read. It is a long paper, which takes time to explain everything. It's not one of those like short, concise ones that just like goes and blah and like leaves like 50 million things kind of as exercises to the reader.
It worked.
So I believe that,
what did I do wrong?
You know, if you go through and look here, she starts with XOR shift, and she basically says, "Look, XOR shift, you know, isn't that great at producing random number generators.
Oh, there's no commas in there.
But then it turns out if we do some simple modifications to XOR shift, we can actually get a really, really good result out of it, right?
Oh my gosh.
And so she talks about doing these.
There we go. There's all my.
XOR shift, which then produce very, very good.
Yeah, and it seems like a click does do the same thing. Okay.
Way more complicated, right?
Let's look at these events. Oh crap. Let's do this.
You know, I can't say that I have the credentials to really say that this is a particularly good idea, but what I
client X Y
shift and then add the additional PCG step on top of it in cases
that's
where
interesting.
it actually matters, right?
Is there not like a clicked?
So that's my approach typically. So again, I would highly recommend reading this paper because basically what she talks about is the fact that
buttons one.
Random number generators, and you could see it,
buttons one. So what if I? Oh man, it's getting a little hard. Yeah, I guess I'll just.
Probably a faster way than remembering how to spell O'Neill. You can see here.
So this was the right click.
She kind of does the comparison. You can see
buttons
XOR
2.
shift down
So
here.
now
There's just
1
a
and
few
2 would
things
be
that it doesn't
3,
do,
right?
And of those
So I'll do
things, not that
both of
many are
these.
really that important to us.
3,
You know,
and so
the
now if I
XOR
do
shift
the
is
middle
like-
button,
is,
I'm
is
expecting
pretty good.
4.
If you do like the 64-bit version, 32-bit, if you only do the 32-bit issues ones, then
4,
you have some
and now if I do
problems.
all
We can do
3,
either one, depending on how
I
we
should
want to do it,
get
but, you know,
7?
maybe plenty good for us. If not, we can go to this.
Oh, hang on.
But the PCGs
Just go to the bottom first.
basically give you everything, right, that you probably want. So it's
7,
kind of
yep.
nice to go, all right,
Okay,
the
so it's just
PCG is
bitwise.
just a small step away
The
from
first
these.
bit
If we just
is
kind of use
the
one of
left click.
these,
The second
perfect.
bit
If we see problems,
is
step up
the
to
right
PCG,
click.
that seems pretty reasonable
The
to
middle
me.
click is the
I
third bit.
don't know that I
And then I can get the
ever looked at
position.
how to SIMD one of these PCGs though, which does make things kind of tough. The reason that I mention that is because if you look at what happens in an XOR shift, so in an XOR shift, these are predictable, right? And that's really crucial. We can implement this in SIMD and it's not a problem. A PCG doesn't have that benefit. So a PCG, if you look at, you know, they have this pattern to them.
I haven't even looked into
Shift
SIMD
on a
before.
variable amount, right?
Yo, what's up, Night Owl?
Shifts
Sorry, I
on
didn't even
variable
see you
amounts
there.
Are really hard in SIMD.
How am I doing? Doing
Uh,
great. Doing great.
The problem is that they didn't introduce
Watching
variable
Casey go
amounts,
over random number generators.
until really late in the game. So if you take a look at even, I think, if we allowed ourselves to use basically everything, maybe
It looks like he's trying to do some sort of random number generator algorithm, but he's trying to do it super fast using SIMD, which is like single instruction, multiple somethings, multiple declarations. Basically, you can multi-thread a single command.
If I remember correctly, so most of these are all immediates, right? So all of these are ones you just have to actually specify. These, right? You can
Yeah, so these are things that like exist as
you can load the
physical components
out of here,
of an x86 CPU
only gonna shift
that help with math,
the
so you can do things a little faster.
everything in here by the same one, right? So you don't get lane-based shifting. what you wanted is you wanted
Very
to
Swedish.
shift by
Shout out to
B
Sweden,
I
man.
plus 15i, right? You wanted to
IKEA
shift
culture
by
has
lane, so each
infiltrated
lane shifts by each lane.
the gaming space with Minecraft and
that's just not on the
Satisfactory.
table,
You got to build it yourself.
Now, at some point, and I don't know what that point is, you can do it, and I don't know where that is. Let's try to find it here. Let's see. So here it is. So by the time you get up to AVX 512, it actually does lane shifting, right? And you can
SimD is awesome. I hope I never have to touch it. I mean, as far as I know, it's not like that big. Like it's almost just like knowing it's there is the battle, maybe. Because like I learned the other day that there's like commands where it's like, oh, you want to move 4, like you want to bit shift 4 things at a time instead of, you know, 1 and then do that 4 times, you know, you can do that with SimD. Like they just have like a module on the CPU that can do that. And so it literally, you know, 4x is your speed on a single operation. But yeah, I've never used them. Well, I think technically I have actually. Let's see. I've used intrinsics, but the question is, are the intrinsics I used also SimD? Mojo math. Got these intrinsics. For square root. I don't think these are SimD. You'd have to have multiple inputs for them to be single instruction, multiple. What does SimD stand for? I keep saying it, but I don't know what it means. Multiple data. Yeah, so it's just like a single instruction, often 4xing or 16xing speed up for vectorized tasks. If you can validate that. Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like the way I feel about it is just like it will make it faster because there's only like a few things it can do, right? Like you're not going to use it for any random thing. It's going to be like a really specific operation. So again, I think half the battle is just knowing that SimD exists and which functions exist on your CPU architecture. And then when you run into a problem where you're like, oh, I need to bit shift 4 things at once. Maybe I'll SimD it, you know? I think that's it. Yeah, what is he doing?
Where you're just getting the shift is always the same. It's not proportional.
I think I kind of
that's the problem.
Melissa O'Neill's PCG is what he was going over.
You just always probably use them because they're just better and they're not expensive. And in Scalar, they're just fine. So like when we do World Gen, we probably should just use PCG everywhere because there's probably no reason to use SimD there. We'll be fine. And we'll get better randomness. But for something like the Raycaster, we probably can't afford to.
Sorry, he's going off screen a little bit. I bet SimD on ECS would go crazy.
That's just something that's a problem.
Entity component system.
With a mismatched instruction set. When we finally someday in the distant future, if Intel ever actually can make it happen, they've been struggling to do so, unfortunately. If we can ever get an installed base of AVX 512 machines, then party time, right? Because if you look at the cost of these instructions too, I don't think they're super expensive. Unfortunately, they don't have timing.
Why is everything light mode? All right, he's going off screen again. Sorry.
I don't think
this is the thing he was looking at. Okay, so there's this like method of random.
But so one of the nice things about this is if we ever actually got to this.
I'm gonna pause him. Okay, It's a family of simple, fast, space-efficient, statistically good algorithms for random number generation. They are also hard to predict. Nice. So at a glance summary, and he chose this one, I think. XOR shift 32. Statistical quality has many issues. Prediction difficulty trivial. So you can predict it, but whatever. Commanding 100 plus units in one instruction. Is that how it works? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I think, like, maybe if you were, like, adding... Like, I think one thing you could do is, like, maybe add, like, a point. Like, if you're saying, like, you know, you drag to select a group of units and then you right-click to send them somewhere, then what you could maybe do is add that point to all of their vector, like, target positions at the same time. So, yeah, that could be crazy. You can have the current task as a bit flag field. Yeah, yeah. Reproducible results. Yes. So that means you can seed it. Multiple streams. No, that's fine. Period. Small. It's okay. I wonder why he chose this, though, because I thought he wanted a large period. I mean, I guess 2 to the 32 is still quite large. It's funny that they consider it small. Jump ahead. Useful features, jump ahead. Sure. Time performance, very fast. So that's probably why he chose it. He probably just chose the fastest one. Although this one seems to be the fastest one. Let me go back to his video.
And I think now atmosphere sampling itself. And there we go. This Melissa O'Neill, who did a very good random number generator, which is the PCG random number generators. The PCG random number generators, which is a thing she came up with, she actually recommends using XOR shift in the paper on that as the basis for the PCGs, which she does.
Okay,
now,
so that's why he chose it, because she recommended it.
We open the paper up, and I've pointed this out on...
Unfortunately, this topic reminds me that C++ bools are not a single bit. Yep. They should be.
This is a very good paper, by the way. I highly recommend reading this paper, and it's very easy to read. It is a long paper, which takes the time to explain everything.
Are they ints?
It's not one of those like short, concise ones that just like goes... and blah, and like leaves like 50 million things kind of as exercises to the reader. So I believe that...
sorry, jumping ahead.
She starts with XOR shift.
So
if we take a look at what we actually would need to do to replace
oh shoot, I gotta sneeze.
Here, right?
Gotta mute.
You can see where we do the index seeding here and stuff like that. Doesn't really matter what we do there for the most part. But when we take next uint, what we want
might be one more.
All right, this is not how we're going to do it anymore. Instead, how we're going to do it is we're going to follow the guidelines laid out by XOR shift 32 here, which is to say we just start with a result value that is whatever the state is. So remember, our series, our random number series here stores this index value, which is the state. So we're just going to pull that out. We're then going to apply a series of XOR patterns to it. So we
okay, so they're impl defined, so it's based on your platform, I guess, like based on the compiler you're using, which means it's probably at least 8-bit.
And then we've got our state rewrite, so we just store that back. We return that as a result, and we continue forward, right? So all of these,
but it's useful in C++ to have bools not be a single bit, because then you can
that point.
you can just store an integer and perform Boolean on it. It's just, but that sucks because it's a little bit more space in RAM.
Wide all the time, so it's trivial to get one from it. First, let's go ahead. Oops, do that. Let's go ahead and verify that that works reasonably well. And so now, if we run this, we should see that
Chars are the only values that are standardized.
Hopefully, we get something. Okay, so
Really? Even ints aren't?
okay. That is not what I would have expected to see. What is our?
I didn't realize that ints weren't standardized. I guess I have much to learn.
What is our random bilateral code doing? Alright. So, random number now should just be all Fs, I think. Unless I'm wrong about that. So, yeah, so this is not really right. So what we want to do here is say, you know, this should be do 32 max now, I believe. Yeah, much better. So oddly enough, if you look at this, it's actually it's really no worse, I don't think. It's a little clumpy still, but it's about as clumpy as the old one was. You know, I don't see a lot of difference between those two. I want to read. So anyway, if we take a look at what we actually would need to do to replace this with XOR shift here, right? You can see where we do the index seeding here and stuff like that. It doesn't really matter what we do there for the most part. But when we take next uint, what we want to do is say, all right, this is not how we're going to do it anymore. Instead, how we're going to do it is we're going to follow the guidelines laid out by XOR shift 32 here, which is to say we just start with a result value that is whatever the state is. So remember, our series, our random number series here stores this index value, which is the state. So we're just going to pull that out. We're then going to apply a series of XOR patterns to it. So we just XOR this with itself shifted up by 13, shifted down by 17, and then shifted up by 5. And then we've got our state rewrite, so we just store that back. We return that as a result, and we continue forward, right?
One char,
so all of these just have
1
to be
equals
so we don't
char.
have to update anything else in here.
So 1 byte is less than short, so probably 2 bytes is less than int, 4 bytes, less than long,
you know, and off we go.
8 bytes.
Now, if we want to, we can make this random series
Less than long
all the time, so it's trivial to get one from it. First, let's go ahead. Oops, do that. Let's go ahead and verify that that works reasonably well.
Okay,
And,
well,
so now if we run this, we should.
this isn't what I was hoping for.
So I think that gives us a way to generate a random number ranges as well. I don't know, we may have made some mistakes there. We played it a little fast and loose, but I believe that's correct. So now we are also a little bit more efficient just when we're generating those numbers, which is kind of nice as well. And that's a good place, I think, to stop for today. So we've replaced the random number generator. We also now have the ability to actually see if our lighting converges to something reasonable, which is nice. So I think we can then improve that hemisphere sampling.
Okay,
like
now I want to
next
hear
time
this.
there is not Windows functions for random number generation. Well, there are Windows functions for random number generation, but you're certainly not going to call them for a real-time application, right?
Oh, interesting.
I mean, we want our random number generation to be like, 7 instructions long or something. And the Windows instruction, calling the random number generator in Windows is, I mean, it's a crypto random number generator. It takes, milliseconds to complete, if I remember correctly.
Oh, shoot.
So that's what I would say. VCAR2, you can still try my idea. Keep 1 subarray fixed, make 3 random. Yeah, we could do that. I don't want to go to a fixed sampling scheme to line that's used. Would it be reasonable to seed your pseudo-random number generator with a random number generator provided by the OS? It would certainly be reasonable to do. It is not necessary for lighting, because lighting, it doesn't matter what the startup is. You can start up at the same value every time. The only time we would care about seeding a pseudo-random number generator by seeding it with a Windows, with something from a cryptographic source or something that was a really high quality entropy source that couldn't be guessed, is for like the world generator. Like the world generator might want to do that, right? So that you can't guess what it's going to use.
Okay, well, I did not get what I had hoped from this. But it also seems like maybe what I had hoped for is unreasonable. So I might just move on from that. Maybe I'll write down my notes. I like to take notes. What day is it? 18th. RNG. Casey implements RNG by generating a list of random numbers, storing it in a table. He then random, like, how would I explain this? He then selects the next number and performs modulo to get random values. He later changes it to be even more random by using Melissa O'Neill's 2 apostrophes. What is it called? PCG family write-up. Or not write-up. PCG family RNG method XOR, what is it called? XOR shift 32 to get better randomization. I had hoped there would be a neater way to do this, but it seems like the table is extremely fast and might be worth pursuing. Okay, so I should probably tell you what I'm working on. I drew a circle. Are you so proud of my circle? Basically, oh, look at how many mouse events I'm generating. You can see the scroll bar just flying up the side of the screen. Should probably stop that. I am gonna make a game because I reached a point I was making. Here, I can show you this. I was making a way to like hover, like detect hover and click on a box, because I was gonna like try to make buttons for my game engine, and then I was like, you know what, like this is fun, you know, like hovering over this, and then I made it so that you can click it and they disappear, and so I'm just gonna make a little game. I feel like having a goal makes it a lot easier to like make a lot of progress on things, and so I'm gonna make a game where the, you know, like circles and squares are just coming at you on the screen, and you just have to click them, and you get like, I don't know, like a minute to click as many as you can. Stupid little game, but Yeah, that's the plan. Wrong one. Okay, so now I need to send that mouse event over. So buttons is an integer, and then you just sample the different bits. Sounds like a good plan. If you can do that, then you have a good base. Yeah. Well, and so it'll require me to do a few things, right? That's why I was looking at the random number generator. I want to like randomly generate points on the screen that the shapes are going to appear on. It taught me to draw a circle. Although I don't know if I'm drawing a circle in the right way. I might, because I actually did all of this like no internet. I mean, I used internet sporadically, but like last week I was on a cruise ship and I did not pay for the internet, and so I was just, you know, every morning when I'd have a little bit of time before everyone woke up, I would just like try to work on something. And so I worked a lot on my Mac platform layer because I only had my laptop with me. And I got the hover states and the click states done on the cruise. And I would like at the ports, I would get internet. And then I would like go to Google real quick and I'd be like, how do I detect if a point is in a rectangle? And I'd get like a Stack Overflow article and I'd download it. And then the next morning I'd like read the article and like try to implement it. So this is like old school. It felt very old school, very fun. But yeah, got these shapes drawn. And yeah, gonna try to make a little game because I had so much fun just hovering over the rectangle and seeing my work. Okay, so I need e.buttons. I need just XY. X, Y. But it's E dot. But also, I don't think this is correct because it's 1424, which should be like over here, I think. But I don't think I made this that big. Yeah, see, I'm only 1280 by 720. So let's see how I get that. Okay, so you get the bounding client rect. Okay. I think I'd rather just store that somewhere. Yeah, see, I don't like the way that AI told me to do it. I want to combine them all. E client x minus rect left divided by rect width. Okay. So yeah, you got to scale it and then you got to floor it. I might just snag this. That seems usable. Okay, so X. And they said client X. Client X is the accurate one, apparently. So do this. fine. Let's try it. I'm gonna comment the console log, and then I gotta go to my wasm main, and I've gotta write this function. Where's my keyboard? There we go. All right. I want it right here. Extern C void mouse event int no. X int Y int buttons. And maybe should I debug log this? Yeah, I'll do that. What's it called? I think I called it console log. Mouse event. All right, let's build that. Look at all those mouse events. Okay. So now let's just write some comments here. And you know what? We're gonna do a little bit of this so that it's a little easier to see. Okay, so buttons is, okay, left. You know, I don't like the term buttons actually. We're gonna call it clicks. So left click is the 0 bit. Well, I guess it's 1. Yeah, I'll just do it like this, right? Equals 2. Middle equals 4. Easy enough to remember. That's easy enough to remember. All right, so then I just do bool left clicked left click is fine equals clicks and 1. Is that correct? I can do it a little easier. Right click is clicks and 1 0. Right? Am I doing this right? Middle click 1 0 0. I think I did that right. Find out. And then I will grab input state old input. Oh, I've also learned that one of Casey's methods didn't really work for me. So this set input state key, I need to change this. I just changed it in my Windows. Input this thing. This is much better. Yeah. But that's going to ruin all of my stuff over here. So I have a macro actually. 6 at A. Let's go. Wait. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. And then keyboard. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to do keyboard. Actually, let's just do keyboard. Do that. Huh? At? Yep, that's correct. It is a gamepad state. Okay. And then I just make old keyboard. And then I can just rename this one. Well, actually, let's put it down here. Make it new keyboard. Okay. So now I have old input equals input states 0. And then new input find 0, add. So new input, oh gosh. New input mouse x equals x. And then, oh, I haven't done the scroll wheel. I don't care. I don't care about scroll wheel. I'll just do like a to-do scroll wheel, aka mouse Z. Actually, are these floats? No, these are ints. Is mouse Z a float? No, it's an int. Okay. And then I do if, well, no, I just do set input state key, hold input, left click, but I have to make it this. New input, left click, and then this is left click. And in fact, I can just pop these in here. Right click, 2. While I'm here, might as well. Oops. Middle click. So now I can get rid of these. All right. What are the odds it works first try, huh? What are the odds? Give me the odds. Oh, I'm so small. I gotta celebrate larger. Let's go. Look at that. Got the hover. The detection is not correct. So the position is not. My detection isn't quite right on this circle. Is that the... Why would that be weird? Oh, it's like... The circle is like up here. The detection circle. Like, so the point is here. Yeah. Okay, so the center point is here for some reason. On WASM. What the heck? Why would that be the case? Click didn't work very well there. That was weird. That was awkward. I had to click twice for the click to work. Is down. It should be down. Left clicks and 1. I don't like this one. I'm skipping it. And I'm removing it from the list. Roost Cafe. Okay. Yeah, why is that happening? Why is all of this happening? Oops. Because yeah, look at this. This is like totally working. But like, why would they be different on Windows versus web. So weird. Like what's weird is that this one is, oh, it's not accurate. It's not accurate on the y-axis. Why is it so off on the y-axis? Whoa, it's up here. The circle is all the way up here. It's probably because the canvas is shifted down, right? So this rect. Okay, but first I want to see this. Left click. Nope. Oh, maybe it wasn't working before because I wasn't actually like on it. It totally wasn't working before, right? Now it's just working first try every time. Okay, well, whatever. Okay, so yeah, this is incorrect though because it's not doing the offset. Okay, let's go back to my index.html. Let's log this again. And then I'm also I'm gonna log console.log the rect. What is this? Bottom height, right width. Yeah. Yeah, so it was 1488, 1271. Let's bring it to here. Look at that. See, it's bringing the circle down a little bit because the canvas is technically all the way to the top. But I need just the drawable region. And it's like half. Okay, let's look at this math. So yeah, I think I need to like divide by, okay, let's see. X. I think I need the whiteboard. Sure, we'll do this. Okay, nice. I think I want it small. Oh, didn't even work. There we go. Okay, so we've got, this, you know, let's call it, let's just use the same numbers, 1488, 1271. But my game is only in this section. And how do I detect that section? Because what my game is telling the screen is that it is 1280 by 720. Which is not true. In this case, it's probably more like 1488 by whatever is the 9 in the 16 by 9 ratio there. So maybe, I mean, but then the opposite is true if I shrink it like this. Or no, grow it like this? Yeah, see, the opposite is true where now the width will be less than I want. How do I do that? Do I just have to say, you know, this is 16 over 9, right? Do I have to say if the screen is greater than this, then the height is messed up? Oh gosh, height. And then if it's less than this, then the width is messed up. Oh, I'm standing in front of it. Yeah, how do I do this? I feel like this is one of those things that like web devs have solved long ago. Yeah, because it's just timesing it by some arbitrary ratio. So client X minus rect left. And we saw that, yeah, these will be, let's look at my code a little bit more. Let's see what the canvas is doing. Let's do canvas. Pixelated, crisp edges, object fit, contain. Get the context. Width, height. Resize. Ah, there's my resize. And then get bounding client rect. What else does it have? Here, let's just let's log the canvas. Okay. Crap. The canvas is 320 by 180? Huh? No, it's not. Is it? Oh, it is, right? Because that's what this is. And where do I set? Oh, yeah, canvas stop. Okay, so it is that. Can I get the scale? What do I do? Where is it? Store as global variable. temp1. So temp1 dot, is there like a scale? Client height? Okay, there's the client height. What else is there? Offset height. The normal height is 180. Client height. Offset height, scroll height. What's scroll height? Okay, so all of the other ones are the 1271. Sorry, you can't really see that. It's like down here at the bottom. Is there an offset? What's offset parent? Top width. Offset width. Oh, do I have it at 1368 right now? Sure did. Offset top is 0, offset width, that. Offset height is that. So that's not what I want. Oops. Is there like a size? No. Is there like a drawable area? No. All right. Going to AI. Okay, it's not quite getting the right points. The window is not, or sorry, okay. The drawable area of my game is 16 by 9, right? I think it is. Yo, what's up? Yo, Cristiano. Sorry, it's not Cristiano. It's Christian Olivetti, right? I found your profile after I was saying it wrong. Welcome back. Welcome back. Okay, so the drawable area of the game is 16 by 9. But the canvas fills the page. So I need to figure out where the point is in the game, not in the canvas. How do I do that? I doomed all of Farloom. Oh no! I don't even know what that means. Act 3? Oh no. Curse. The parasite. Yep, my wife's going through that all right now. Looks rough. Okay, so where is this function it added? I called it get game chords. Where are you? Get game chords. So you get this. Game aspect is this. Canvas aspect is this. Scale, offset, offset Y. Hey, I was getting there. That's what I was drawing. I was saying if it's greater than this aspect ratio, then the height's messed up, and so on. But yeah, I'm kind of wondering if I like store these like scale values and then on resize I change them. so that I don't have to do it every time I move the mouse. I don't have to do these calculations. Yeah, so I would just store this scale. And this rect. And this offset. So I like this. We're going to steal that. But we're going to change it a lot. Okay, so this, yeah, this rect, it's not going to be a const. Yeah, up here. Where are my non-consts? Right here. So this will be let, and it will be called canvas rect. And then resize canvas. No. Is there a resize? Yeah, I don't think this is needed. Let's just see. Canvas dot add event listener. Is there like a resize? Let's find out. Mozilla Canvas. What is harder, making a game or Silksong 100%? I'm going to say Silksong 100%. Okay, so what are the events? Is there an event thing? Event. No. Maybe this can help me. Temp 1 dot add event listener. Is there a resize? What are the odds? Console.log e. Nope. All right. Browser canvas on resize listener. There's a window one. That could work. All right. Window dot resize. And we'll just do, gosh, man, my typing today is terrible. Okay. Canvas rect equals canvas dot get bounding client. By the way, I don't think I told you about the cult. The cult. What does that mean? Okay, so I have that. And then I should be able to calculate these up there as well. You're really proud of your cult. What? Tell me more. Can I join? Yeah, I think I should be able to store all of these. In fact, all of this can probably just exist in that resize. So let's grab all this. Just not the XY. The XY can't be. So we go back up here. So paste here because we're gonna get game aspect. This will go up here. I'll put it right here. So I started a cult on another streamer live with me, and someone else. We have now 11 members, and you are the 12th. We also have a few banned people. Oh boy. What is the cult? What do you do? Let canvas aspect equal this. But then also, yoink, we're going to toss this in here as well. Okay, and then I need these. And then we toss these in here. Kind of just for the funnies. All right, I'm in. I'm down for the funnies. Okay, so now I've got all these things. And so I've got this like scale that I can use. And then if I go back here, where's my point? Is that what it's called? No, it was called chord. Yeah, get game chords. So now this goes in my mouse event. We can make it a const. Why not? And then in theory, that has solved my issue. We'll see. But at 50 members, or 100, I will draw a grim troop flea. I love it. I love it. Okay. Restart. That appears to not be working. Where is the mouse? Where is it? It's probably because the thing never resized, right? Let's do a little function resize. We'll put an E in there. I don't think I need the E. Like I'm gonna assume that if I resize, then it'll start working. Yeah. So I just need to call this resize at the start as well. And just pop all this in there. And then I can even just like get rid of these. Because I'm just gonna call this right away. I don't need to reassign right after, like one after the other. Oh, and look at that. I can just go. It's whatever. I'll keep that together. I'm the 10th member. Okay. I'm not the 12th. I'm the 10th. That's a nice round number. Oh, I can make it even better. Resize here. And then also resize. I'll just send null. I don't care. Or I could do like, yeah, that's fine. Okay. So let's see if this works. It didn't work. And then if I resize, it starts working. I thought that's how I call things. Is that not how you call things? Aha. I'll do it in here. Yeah, any of you play Cult of the Lamb? That game is pretty stinking fun. Why is resize... Oh, and now that's not even working. The heck? Sure do play Cult of the Lamb. Nice. Yeah, it's a good game. What have I done wrong? Got to around 200 hours. I don't think I got nearly that far. I think I have a backlog that it's in. I made it 9 hours. I should play that one a lot more. Are we making some me's? Yeah, you like that? I don't understand. I think I could also do this. Why can't it call resize function? Or the resize function right there. Yeah, see, I'm able to... Oh no, this is an attached thing. Link program. Am I calling any functions in this? I gotta be, right? Maybe, is there like an await page load area? There's the loop. Yeah, maybe resize here. It's not working. But then I resize. Oh, and it's still not working. I thought that was working before. I don't know what's happening. I thought this was going to work. Where's my mouse event? E, client X, canvas rect left, offset X, scale. Yeah. So let's get rid of this and let's do something in the resize. Resize. Okay, so that does resize. What did I do? Okay, I'm going to go back a little bit because I swear I had this working for a sec there. Let's just do it this way. Do that. Oh, I guess I did have to initialize them. I think that was the problem. So let's do resize like this. And I got 2 minutes left. All right, let's see if this works. Okay, there we go. I got it working. I got it working. Look at that. That's very precise. This is a little less precise, but that's okay. Then I can click them away. Okay. So I got clicking done. Let's get rid of my logs. Mouse, event. I don't need that. Well, I'll just comment. And then wasamain. Get rid of that. And then, yeah. So, quick little update on what's happening. The audio context was not allowed to start. No, that's not what I want. I want this. It doesn't like that I'm initializing the audio context on every click. If not audio context, then create a new one. Oh, it's because I hadn't clicked yet. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of this, I think. It'll be fine. Oops, wrong one. All right, so little context. I was trying to get like hovering working. And I made this, rectangle and turn it green when I hover it. And then I got clicking working. And so it deletes the shapes when I click them. And I was like, hey, let's make a game. And so I've decided I'm going to make just like a tiny little game where these shapes are coming at you, like they're just popping up on screen and you're just clicking them away and you get like a score after a minute or something. Just a dumb little game. And so, because I think that like you kind of just make a lot more progress if you're working on a game, if you have a goal in mind. And so, for example, like right off the top of my head, I can think of like 3 new things I'll have to add. I'll have to add text because I have to say your score at the end. I'll have to do like random number generator because I need to place these randomly on the screen. And then I need to like add a timer because after a minute it needs to end. And so right there, I will add 3 new things to my engine. And yeah, so that's what I'm working on right now. Thanks for joining everyone and I'll see ya.